Nothing for health.
Yeah, so I guess the first tea I knew, well, I guess my first memory of tea was going to Chinese restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved getting the little tea.
Yeah,
In the pot, yeah.
The little pot, and then they would bring out the little cups.
I love that.
And I think I would use a whole pack of white sugar.
Oh my gosh,
And
now
then-
you bring that up, I do remember doing
Yeah.
that. I did love that too.
And I loved it. It was so good, but I think maybe it was the white sugar.
It's so sweet.
So when I had this kind of class before, and I'm like doing some research on tea, and I didn't realize there was like one type of tea, which expanded into all kinds of other teas and herbal teas. Now, of course, people have been making herbal teas for thousands of years, but tea,
Mm-hmm.
TEA, the tea that is tea time in Europe. This was a species of shrub cultivated in China called Camellia sinensis, known as the black tea shrub. So it was one specific bush, plant, shrub, whatever you want to call it. It has been called the plant of heaven. For 4,000 years, it has been valued both as medicine and a drink for pleasure. A charming legend tells how this ordinary plant became the first natural wonder in the world of herbal teas. The story takes us back to ancient China in 2737 BC, when one day Emperor Shen Nung was kneeling before a fire, heating water, and suddenly a wind stirred, and leaves fluttered down from a branch over his head and fell into the boiling water. The aroma captivated Shen Nung, and he decided to taste the brew. Where did these aromatic leaves come from? An ancient wild species of the black tea shrub. When the leaves are fermented. Okay, so this is what I found really interesting. So is this one plant, and then all of the different varieties were different preparations of the plant, of the leaves. So we have oolong, and that's when they're fermented. When they are brewed fresh, like this, it's green tea. So I almost consider like mint green tea. I mean, because it's your tea water is like light. It's almost green.
Right.
It's
Kinda
just
see-through.
fresh. When it is green, it contains the potent antioxidant catechin, a bioflavonoid with antibacterial and anti-cancer properties. Now that's of that bush. I wouldn't say that of peppermint. That's of the Camellia sinensis. For centuries in China, monks and herbalists studied plants for their healing properties and handed down their knowledge to the next generation by verbal instruction. To illustrate the importance of tea, a tale tells of an ancient Chinese herbalist who knew 100,000 healing properties of herbs and began to pass on his wisdom to his son. The herbalist taught his son 80,000 secrets, but fell ill before he could complete the lesson. On his deathbed, the herbalist told his son to come to his grave 5 years from the date of his death, where he would find the other 20,000 secrets. I'm just going to read a little bit more. On the 5th year, the obedient son went to his father's grave and found growing on the site the black tea shrub. The black tea shrub is a plant that has been endowed with the Taoist belief that beauty and harmony are achieved by order and ritual. Every detail in the planting, picking, preparation of the leaves, and ceremonial customs for drinking tea became a cultural phenomenon in the Orient. It passed on to other cultures as humble gifts from Buddhist monks. Okay, so I'll just... This is really interesting. I will share more. I don't want to just only read. But so the Chinese kind of stumbled upon the tea. Now, I know other cultures had tea, but they are the ones who kind of made it this ritual, this ceremony. No one, I guess, is as fancy or as reverent of the tea ceremony as I would say as the Chinese, as like it's very reverent. And I've talked about that in class a number of times, like making your tea time a sacred time. So like the cacao, like a lot of the, like tobacco, there's always some very savvy men who take an idea and turn it into a money-making machine. So that is where we have, if you think of all of the companies that make black tea, can you think of any? I don't know if I should name them, but like all of the common sun teas or Lipton's.
Yeah.
They, I don't know all of the ins and outs, but pretty much like they take other plants, they modify them, make them produce everything faster, everything more, making it a very prolific cash crop. And so you have like the fine tea from the original plant that could be, you know, could even be $100 a pound, like really good quality, to our everyday brand at the grocery store. It's a couple dollars for a box. So just like with our chocolate, you have the pure cacao, which I shared a couple weeks ago, which is $50 a pound or more. And then you have your cocoa powder that is a couple dollars for a tin. So it's interesting how things get watered down. But tea, and